Let's make sure somebody make sure it's.
This should be at 40%.
Should be on. Yeah, that's gonna pop up. Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah, we live.
We're gonna start off by giving all praise to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. That starts with the 144,000 under Yahweh Shai, which will be the governing body of the nation of Israel in the kingdom to come, the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek. We will reign as kings and priests on the earth, and also the large multitude, the rest of the men, women, and children whom the Lord is going to have mercy on at the time that he sends his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And we're in very beautiful times. These are the days that the elect, as a matter of fact, let's get that in Peter, 1 Peter. When you read down in 1 Peter, it's like the last 4 verses. These are the days the prophets inquired of.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
1 Peter 1, because we're living in the times that our forefathers, man, they long for these days, man. And when you read the Bible, the awakening of the Israelites is directly in the latter days after the falling away. The Israelites coming back to their nationality is directly tied to the end of Esau's world, the heathen rulership, in which the Lord is finally going to establish the nation of Israel as a everlasting government forever and ever and ever, man. Go ahead.
Con, this is 1 Peter chapter 1. I want to start at verse 7. That's a good point to start at. It says, start at verse 6, wherein ye greatly rejoice through now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations.
Right, and this is the beginning of that heaviness. But as you can see, the Lord is going to keep doing things that keeps us in good hopes and good spirits, man. Right. As the straighter it gets, the bigger miracles we're going to see.
That's right. To
keep us on the path, man. And over the years, brothers have seen chariots, brothers have had visions, brothers have been through particular things, and they share it with the body, but it strengthens our faith. So how much more going through the straight gate? The Lord is going to do a whole hell of a lot, man. Yeah. But we're going to be in some very dire straits very soon, man. Because Esau's getting ready to shut it down. In New York, they're basically going door to door to make sure you're staying in the house in certain parts. Right. But eventually, all over America, Esau is going to pretty much lock this thing down, man, before he gets his wickedness going, man, and his next level wickedness, which is going to lead to the chip. Go ahead.
Right. Verse 7: that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, whom having not seen ye love, in whom though now ye see him not, yet believing.
Right.
Ye rejoicing with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith.
Right, receiving the end of your faith, man. That's what we're getting ready to receive. The reward. As you read Revelation 11, when the nations were angry and get ready to go to war, that's how we know that we were being prepared to receive the prophets are getting ready to get that reward, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, right, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently.
Right, the prophets inquired and searched diligently. When you get the book of Acts, Jake was like, are you for the now you're going to establish the kingdom? Thessalonians, they were pissed off because they thought that was it after Yahweh Shai, came. They thought they was getting ready to get the kingdom back then. So when you read the scriptures, our forefathers were always in the spirit of the kingdom of Israel being established back on the earth. And see, Esau has used that mind frame to deem you a terrorist, man, here in these times. Because in order for us to be sovereign and have an everlasting government, his ass got to go down.
Right.
Oh. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob. The scriptures say 2 kings can't sit on the throne together. One has to be thrown off the throne, man. Right. And right now, the king of this world is Esau Edom. Go ahead.
Come. It says, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently,
right,
who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you.
Right, they prophesied of this day. Ezekiel, when you read Ezekiel, he prophesied of your awakening before you were born, man. Ezekiel showed us step by step how the nation of Israel will be in a dead state, but then through the prophets going out, they will be raised back up. And then what will happen? We'll be brought back to our land after a great deliverance, man.
Right.
You got something?
Matthew chapter 13, verse 16.
You can break it down.
Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
Right.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them.
Hey, T.D. Jakes don't see what we see. Joe Osteen don't see what we see. Tyler Perry damn sure don't see what we see. But they don't see it, man.
That's right.
There's a lot of people, man, who even, who go into particular things of end times, but they don't understand the tribes being brought back together. They don't know who Esau is.
Right.
They don't see. They don't see it, but we do. Go ahead.
And to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. So just like the other was saying, how the prophets have inquired, but they didn't see those things they only prophesied about as well. The Lord's telling the disciples that they seen the Messiah.
That's right.
The prophets, they prophesied the Messiah's come, but they didn't get a chance to see it.
Right.
That's why he said they desired to see the kingdom to come. They thought it was going to happen, but it didn't.
Right.
But now in our time, we're blessed to see those things. We're seeing the end. We're seeing Esau cracking down. We're seeing the prophecy jump off the page now.
Right.
So we're blessed to be in that time, but we're about to see the end of our faith.
Right.
You know?
Right. We're basically, America's really under a siege. We're literally in a lightweight siege.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and now, brothers are still able to go out, but eventually we know that platform is going to stop. The Lord allowed the Spirit, certain brothers with the Spirit went on them, they went out and they were able to teach. But we know going down the pipe, these things are going to get tighter and tighter and tighter, man. And this platform of the understanding of these scriptures and what the prophets really have to offer is going to be gone. And you people are going to be bugged out of your damn minds, man, looking for an answer. And T.D. Jakes and all of these other people, they're gonna lead you to go hand in hand with the government. They're not gonna tell you to rebel against the so-called white man's New World Order.
Right.
They by paperwork are bound to teach the people to follow. Now you may have some particular pastors rebel against that and try, don't take the chip.
Right.
But Esau got something for their ass. But by paperwork, a lot of these people are paid that they can't speak against the things that are happening in this world. Israelite groups are paid to not tell you the sword is coming, the wolf is coming.
And then, like you said, will come a time where they're gonna want to see a vision or hear the prophets. This is Ezekiel 7:26. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor.
Ain't that happening?
Yep.
You got mischief going on in the world, all of these rumors. Now we're not looking like the bugged out conspiracy theorists that you said we were. Go ahead.
Then shall they see a vision of. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest and counsel from the ancients.
Hey, if I may, boss spot, and it's interesting, when you read that in Ezekiel chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, all the way to verse 11, it goes into how the Spirit of the Lord had departed from those priests that was in the temple, and it had went to those captives that were held captive in Babylon and those different regions, because those men weren't in the Spirit. So pretty much can you read that precept again about the Psalm one more time?
Yeah, Ezekiel 7:26. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and a rumor shall be upon rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest and counsel from the ancients.
The Spirit, we was talking about those guys in these other camps right now. Man.
Woo! They ain't gonna have it.
They ain't gonna have it.
Right.
It's gonna just like the word of the Lord is gonna depart from a lot of these guys. Hey, it's gonna start with these guys, man. It says in the book of Peter, it says that he's gonna, loosely paraphrasing, it says he's going to start with his sanctuary, man.
Right.
And it's gonna start with these guys. When you read that in Ezekiel, it's a very interesting book, especially when you start at chapter 7, because that's when the Lord reveals to the Son of Man, who is Ezekiel, who represents the prophet, how full of shit, excuse my French,
Right.
how full of garbage
Right.
those guys were that claimed to be Israelites and that claimed to be men of the Lord.
Right.
And he went into how he departed his spirit from those men
Right.
and went for those that were actually in the spirit, but they were scattered.
Scattered.
And that
Small
goes with us,
sanctuaries.
the small sanctuary.
Oh,
And you read about that in chapter 11.
it's a small sanctuary right now.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Out there really full like that.
Right. Ezekiel represents the prophets. When you look at his lot, he prophesied to the dry bone. He represents the embodiment of the prophets, man.
Right.
And the beauty of it is, even in captivity, because Ezekiel was a slave.
Yeah.
In captivity, the Lord visited him with a vision of the
That's
heaven.
right. That's right.
Because the spiritual temple, I mean, the physical temple was sacked.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the Lord dealt directly through Ezekiel and various other men who were in the spirit. The same
That's
thing
right.
that's happening right now.
That's right, bro.
Because we don't have a physical temple.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real quick, this is Jeremiah 37:17. Then Zedekiah the king sent and took him out, and the king asked him secretly in the house and said, "Is there any word from the Lord?"
Right. Because Zedekiah, he never wanted to listen to Jeremiah.
Right.
But when things started to get tight, he wanted a vision from Jeremiah.
Hey, and Jeremiah said, "Is therefore, said he, thou shalt be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon."
Didn't I tell you
Yeah.
that you're going to get
Yeah.
delivered into the hands of the
Exactly.
Babylonians?
Woo!
But Zedekiah was hard-headed.
The fullest version of me.
Yeah, he was a complete, like, come on, bro, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah was sent, the prophets are sent to teach you people. Somebody get Sirach, the 36th chapter, and start at 14.
Got it.
Yeah, the prophets are sent to give our people understanding of what's to come. And for years, we didn't have this.
Right.
You see, but the Lord, starting with Abba Bivens on down the line, has raised up prophets in these latter days, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got a precept.
Okay. Sirach 36 and 14. Fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles.
What is an oracle? A prophecy.
Mhm. That's right.
Fill Sion with thy unspeakable oracles. How would Sion, symbolic of Israel, the elect, be filled with the understanding of the prophecies? Go ahead.
And thy people with thy glory.
Right, go ahead.
Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning.
Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning. Go ahead.
And raise up prophets that have been in thy name.
And raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Go ahead.
Reward them that wait for thee.
Uh-huh.
And let thy prophets be found faithful.
So the prophets will be found faithful in the latter days, man. That's a sign. Hey, we're a sign and a wonder.
That's right.
Yahweh Shah said it. I and the children whom the Lord have given me are sent for signs and wonders amongst Israel. In the faith of the elect in these latter days, the prophets are the major sign that people need to be looking for. But only the elect are going to have ears to hear and eyes to see and put the pieces together, man. Everybody else is just going to be complete assholes, man. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 21:6. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, said unto me, Go set a watchman, let him declare what he seeth." And that's what's happening right now. You know, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end is speaking through the Lord's mouth.
That's
and
right, bro.
servants, the
That's right,
prophets.
bro.
Right.
He always did that. Jeremiah 28:8.
Mm-hmm.
Before the collapse of a major empire, the Lord always sent his prophets out to warn beforehand. That's why it ain't gonna be no cloak for these people's sins, man, because the prophets been on the scene warning.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's how the Lord is justified.
Exactly.
He was justified in bringing the flood because Noah prophesied.
Man,
You
yo,
see?
yo. Nineveh during the time of Jonah, you know?
Yep.
And people knew
And
about
it didn't fall at that time. It fell at the time that Zephaniah and Tobit was on the scene.
Yeah.
But eventually it fell.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Told you so. Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's right. It says, I'm gonna jump down. Verse 8, it says, "And he cried, a lion, my Lord, I stand continually upon the watchtower in the daytime, and I am set in my ward whole nights."
Right, because the duty of a watchman was very important amongst Israel in times past, just as it should be now. But our people, they mock at reproof.
Right.
A lot of people who know that they're Israelites really don't understand the Most High, His way, and they really think this is a joke.
Right.
In times past, people begged to have this. At
Right.
the time of Samuel, what was the beauty of Samuel coming into the scene? There was no open vision before Samuel came on the scene.
That's a great point.
Get that. Somebody get that real quick. Oh, you keep reading that, and then somebody just type in there was no open vision, or it's in the book of Samuel. But keep reading, bro.
This is back in Isaiah 21:9. It says, "Behold, and behold, here cometh the chariot of men with a couple of horsemen. And he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, and all the graven images of her gods he hath broken unto the ground."
Right. So it started with the word going out, and then it came to pass.
Exactly.
We're literally speaking this thing into existence, man.
Exactly.
That's why you got to throw out them curses, you got to throw out them prayers, you got to fast, so that you can connect with your power, so that the right sacrifice, so the Lord can hear and smell what He needs, and we can get the hell up out of here.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
for their price.
Right.
1 Samuel 3, starting verse 1.
Start at 1, yeah.
And the child Samuel ministered unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua before Eli.
Uh-huh.
And the word of the Lord was precious in those days.
Right, the word of the Lord is precious in those days. Now, I believe there was one other prophet around. I think it was Eli, right?
Yeah,
Eli
came upon Eli.
Right, right. After Eli, I mean, outside of Eli, it wasn't really.
Wasn't nothing going on.
Nobody
Yeah.
had on the scene.
You had
Nobody
the
was
judges
really on the
before
scene.
that.
Right,
Right,
where they
right.
bugged out.
Yeah.
The judges bugged out.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
There was no open vision.
There was no open vision. Restart.
Wow.
Read that again.
Yeah, I never caught it. In 1 Samuel 3:1, and the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days.
Mhm.
There was no open vision.
There was no open vision. Go ahead, some more.
And it came to pass at that time when Eli was laying down his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see.
Right, because if the Lord didn't raise up Samuel after Eli got old and passed away, it wouldn't have been no word.
Exactly.
Jake wouldn't have had no understanding of nothing. See, Jake don't understand. You got a lot of these Israelites that say, I don't need a man. Well, didn't you need Aaron? Didn't you need David? Didn't you need, you
Moses,
needed
yeah.
Moses? You needed
Joshua.
men, yeah.
Always a go-between. No.
What's the Exodus without Moses and Aaron speaking those plagues upon that place, man?
It was prophets.
They were prophets. They were men sent by their heavenly Father, man.
Yeah.
It's no different today, but it's under the order of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ in this second covenant, man. Go ahead.
Right, real quick, because during that time when Samuel, reading that right there, the word was of the Most High was very rare at the time.
Right.
He spoke to him.
Right.
Then after a while, the judges came. Then what? Colossians 1:26 said it was hidden for generations.
It's hidden.
It was rare still.
Yeah.
Now it's made plain. We got it
Right. It's like the Lord had showed patterns of that too. It was rare when Abraham was on the scene.
Right.
And Abraham was 75 years old when the vision came up to him.
Right.
And then you got Moses, who was 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? Came to him as old men.
Right.
Now it's coming to us as we're in our youth. And it's right. But now it's a time when it's not precious no more. Nobody wants to hear it.
Right.
It's precious, but only the elect want to hear it. That small sanctuary.
Right.
It was-
And it's not going to be an open vision for too much longer.
Right.
Amos,
Right.
the 8th chapter, it's going to be
That's
a
right.
famine of the word. Right now,
That's
it's an open vision.
Right.
The prophets, what we proclaim, everybody can get on YouTube and
Yeah.
dial on and see what's going on.
That's right.
Well,
That's
even
right.
for some that watch us, it's truth in plain sight. They still can't get it.
That's right.
You know?
You got precepts, Charles.
Go ahead, Sean. Yeah, precept.
I did have a quick precept real quick. This is our second Chronicles chapter 36, verse 15. And the Lord God, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending. The Lord had sent them forth. It says, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. Earlier, I had this precept held when you made this statement earlier, pretty much loosely paraphrasing, I will for signs and wonders. And how the Lord has his word out here right now because we're still in the period of grace right now. We're still in the period where the Lord's word is being broadcasted and casted out by the voice of his prophets, as the priest Yadakah made that mentioned earlier. This is all due to the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And we've received that as that voice that went forth from the apostles on down. But you read it in verse 16, it says, but they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words. Which shows you it's precious to us. But to all Jake, it ain't precious no more, man. Until all hell breaks loose on their ass, and until there is no remedy.
Exactly.
And misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy, no healing. You know, so it's when it's too late, when the gates of grace are closed, when the gates of mercy are closed, and the Lord turns his face away. Then you're gonna have Jake's like, okay, so what's the plan? What do we need to do? When it's gonna be too late, man. And we in that time right now where it's getting ready to be too late because now he's getting ready to have our tongue cleave to the roof of our mouth.
Wow.
And we see it, man.
Just as in the days of Noah, too.
Get that in Ezekiel 3.
Kind of.
Ezekiel 3.
And that's why I said in Ecclesiastes 12:1, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, before the evil days come not. Now the evil days are upon us now. That's why you got to come to this thing when you're young, so to speak. Now the Lord will bless you to come in when you're old too. That's a blessing within itself.
Come.
Because the evil days go come, man. You got Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 3 and like, I believe 24.
Really, when it's talking about in your youth, it's basically meaning not putting off from day to day, like the scripture says. And tarrying, if you know about this word, man, if you're a believer, if you're an Israelite, man, you got to hop to it and make a decision before the Lord make a decision for you.
Because you had Jake watching videos for 5 years. Now they want to come out and listen to him. Now he can't come out now.
Right, exactly.
Jake could just be sitting on it. You got
This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 26. And it reads, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be a Salakia, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. And that's Jake. A very rebellious house, man.
Absolutely.
You know, you look at these churches right now, they don't got nothing to say. They don't got nothing to say about these pastors that's been feeding their asses wrong for a long time. We coming directly out of the scriptures. People walk by us, spit at us, throw things at us. Now it's to the point where you're going to inquire, but it's going to be too late, man. Because as we've been in this time where the Lord's word went out, you've closed your ears. You closed your eyes, your ears, and everything. Misused the prophets. Now it's time for your judgment to come because you didn't want to hear it when it was right for you to hear it.
Right.
You know?
Proverbs 1. We in that time too.
Oh, yeah.
Lord, we finna laugh. We finna eat, laugh. We finna have a good time.
That's right, bro.
We married.
That's right.
You know, but we know we gotta go through the straight gate, but we're gonna count it all joy, man. The Lord gonna put a special spirit on us, man. He got us. I believe that. You know?
Yep.
We gonna just go through it, man. You know?
You 2/3, most I gonna bring evil upon you.
Oh yeah.
And then after the evils come, them arrows will come, which is talking about those missiles.
Right.
That's spoke about Deuteronomy 32 and 23. The piece about he gonna bring mischief upon you, meaning evil times, man.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because we coming into some beautiful times as Israelites, man. Let's get Isaiah 14 real quick. You got something else?
Yeah, I have
Yeah, get that,
just
get
back
that.
it up. What Bond had mentioned in Ecclesiastes 12, seek the Creator in the days that I use.
That's right.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 5 and 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day.
Right.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Bro, in 2 months, your life has changed. Life as you know it has changed in 2 months.
Quit it up.
And we know that, and ultimately Esau is just a pawn. The Most
Right.
High is ultimately doing all of these things. But we understand that the right is set against the left. There's a contention there. So we have to expose the things that they're doing. We're not gonna just go willy-nilly, just trust in the Most High, nothing happening, there's nothing that you should worry about or be privy to or none of that. No, we're gonna tell you, this man is getting ready to do a lot of wickedness and we're gonna be whistleblowers through the Spirit. We're gonna blow the trumpet telling you what the enemy is doing.
He works through men on both sides.
Right, right. What does it tell you in Sirach? It tells you that he set the left against the right. Good is set against evil, man.
That's right.
You know, they setting the whole, narrative against us. They putting out a testimony against us. We doing the same thing. You're a pedophile. You lying. You wrong. You ugly. All of that, man. You Edomites are finished, man. Your reign is just about up, and you look absolutely stupid as hell in your interviews with the suits on. These people are absolutely not fit to rule, man.
God. Yep.
That's the problem, really. Everybody's in hell because the so-called white man is ruling. Get Proverbs 29 and 2 real quick. That's really the problem. You know, you got cancer in your body. You could point to the things that is actually ruining and the functions, but what is the source of the problem? The cancer. And then Sirach 10 and 10. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
When the righteous are in authority, are people rejoicing? Hell no, man. All you watch the news.
Right.
Even before this whole coronavirus ordeal, everybody was catching hell, man. Faking it. So the righteous are not in authority. Go ahead.
But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And people are in mourning. The animals are in mourning. Children are in danger. Women are walking around with no men. Men walking around want to be women. You see? Sickness, plague, pestilence, GMOs. The alcohol's all tainted with poisons and chemicals. Everything the Lord set for good is being used for wicked, man. Even incense and stones. On the left-hand side, these witches are using these things, throwing enchantments out there, man. So this place got to go at the end of the day, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turn of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not?
Right. Is the Lord just going to allow him to destroy the family structure forever? To where family is going to be a thing of the past?
Right.
You know, is he gonna allow him to taint gender to where there's no difference in separation? There's 80 genders, 100 genders. The Lord said he made male and female. It's that simple.
Oh, he, them, that's that.
Right, he, she. Ain't no in between, can't be altered. You got all of these forms of sex. The only sex is a penis going in a vagina.
Right.
That's the only sex.
That's it. Anything else is what's called intercourse.
Right.
Because sex, it really means to cut.
Yeah.
Right. And you can only cut a virgin. You know
Yeah.
that when you the first time you pop that hymen, anything else
Right.
is defiled. It's an abomination, really.
Right,
You know, outside of a man and a woman, a penis and a vagina.
right,
You know.
right.
Lewd and
I mean,
backwards.
you could kiss on each other.
Right.
You know, that's. But
Foreplay.
there's even order in that. You ain't supposed to be putting your tongue, you know, in certain places, man.
Yeah.
You know, Jake nasty as hell.
Jake,
Go ahead.
Sure, it works there, and made it. He
But
made
that's
it
being scattered amongst the heathen.
Yeah.
We've learned these particular
Right,
things, and it's like
right.
freaky ass.
we
practice.
freaky. We need the Lord, man.
Yeah.
There's stuff that's normal to us that back then, man, it was like
Frowned upon.
It was frowned upon.
They could have killed you.
The way we live, everything, bro.
But we wouldn't make it. Now, we wouldn't make it back then. These bodies and how we do things now, man, they'll get rid of us the first day.
That's why the prophets were so adamant, because they seen those videos, they seen how freaky Jake was in America and Babylon, and the cap series.
Tossing salad. Come on, man. We gotta get the fuck up out of here, man. Go ahead, Jake.
Or shall we
Nah,
think
they
we
got
framed
those-
it? We thought that framed
Jake
it.
reflected.
He had no understanding.
Yeah.
That was it on that.
And that's what Esau's saying to everybody. Like, the Lord don't have any understanding. His way ain't good enough. And look what it's led to, man. Go ahead. Read that, Shore. And,
Sirach.
Yeah, got it.
This, you got it?
No, go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 10. It says, the physician cutteth off a long disease,
Mhm.
and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die.
Right. The physician cut off a long disease, man. And he that today is a king, tomorrow shall die. And that's what's getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we can go into the intricacies of what's going on in the earth, but really the wicked is getting ready to be put out. But before they could put out, they're gonna do some serious wickedness, man.
Right.
And a lot of people are actually dying. Now, is it the coronavirus or is Esau just putting shit in them and putting shit in the atmosphere and killing these people who go into the hospital? You go to the hospital, I'm sick, and they all right, well take this, and you die.
In
A
America,
lot of
yeah.
people dying, bro.
Right.
A lot of people being off. America leads the league in coronavirus deaths.
Right.
And it's only growing, man. So what are they gonna do? More drastic, draconian law and drastic measures?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 11. For when a man is dead.
No, that's it.
Okay. You look at Isaiah 14?
Yeah, we can jump into it. We don't have to read the whole thing.
Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will
Right.
yet choose Israel.
Right. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob. This is what's getting ready to happen. The kingdom of heaven, the covenants is all for the Israelites, man.
That's right.
No heathen will be joint heirs with Yahushua in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
The heathen, the only thing you got coming to look forward to after you get your just due in the form of payback, slavery, building the kingdom, we're gonna be fair. We're not demons like the so-called white man. You will have to pay tribute, but we're gonna, outside of the Edomites after 1,000 years you've done. But the rest of you heathen, you will be able to witness what it's like to live under a righteous rulership. And that's a blessing within itself. And that's a blessing.
Yep.
You know? If Esau, with all of the riches he had, was fair, we would be, in a sense, sort of blessed. But he's wicked, man. He ain't gonna do it. There's people literally starving to death, dying, and I'm talking about trillions upon trillions upon $1 trillion worth of gold just sitting in a room somewhere. He could turn this thing around, and within weeks, if he really wanted to, but he ain't gonna do that.
This nigga stingy as hell.
He's wicked, man. He's a demon.
He's a demon child.
Yeah.
He's a little kid.
Damien. That's that nigga.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a wicked credit for dead people.
Yep.
That's his role.
Yeah, and it's very true. He's really just wicked, bro.
Yeah.
Go back to Isaiah. It's true.
Come. This is Isaiah chapter 14, continuing on in verse 1. It says, and set them, which is Jacob, in their own land,
Mm.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and
Right.
they shall cleave to them. So like they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And that's the Israelite foreigners, man. All right, because you're gonna have the 144,000, but you're gonna have that large multitude, man. It's through the sacrifice of the elect, the 144, that everybody's gonna be brought back to the Heavenly Father under Yahweh Shai, man. That's order and how the Lord is gonna do this thing, man. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place,
Mhm.
and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Now, the funny thing about this is vocab said this already came to pass
Oh, it didn't.
in the Persian before the Babylonian Empire went down. No, Jake was still slaves, even in the Persian Empire, though we were allowed to rebuild our temple.
Right.
How did we build the temple though? Who gave us the money? The Persians. We had to beg them for money and resources to help build the temple. We got permission to build that temple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh boy.
That wasn't it. That wasn't a lot of people like to say that this chapter was fulfilled in the Persian Empire. That's not true. Go ahead.
I got a prophecy of King David.
Yep.
What was this talking about? This is Psalms 2 and 8. It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance,
Mm.
and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession."
Right.
So this is a future prophecy talking about in the kingdom, like it backs up Isaiah the 2nd chapter. They're gonna have to all come up to Jerusalem and learn the ways of Zion. The law shall go forth out of Jerusalem.
Right.
That's talking about in the kingdom, man.
Right.
That hadn't been fulfilled.
Right. 'Cause
That's
most-
why there ain't gonna be no more war on the earth, you know?
That's right.
Jerusalem, it means what? City of peace, which it goes into deeper a teaching of peace. Why? Because we gonna be righteous with the laws in our inward parts, and all of the other nations, they gonna have to fall in line and keep our laws.
Right.
They're gonna have to keep Passover, you know, or we're not gonna allow their crops and things to grow, you know?
Right. Each tabernacle, you're gonna have to do everything we say do.
Right.
Just like right here, when Christmas come around, you see Christmas everywhere.
Easter.
Well, when we in our kingdom, when it's the Hanukkah,
Right.
or the celebrating of the destruction of America, which will be the new Passover, you're just gonna be forced down your throat.
Yep.
You ain't happy? You know, we gonna show up,
Right.
pull up on your ass, man.
That's
Moab
gonna be a
ain't
pull up.
abominations.
Real pull up.
Yeah,
Real pull up.
Yeah. Moab and you other heathens, you ain't gonna be eating no abominations in the
Nope.
kingdom, man.
No,
You
no,
know?
you will be held to a righteous standard, man.
Exactly.
And that's
you're gonna,
beautiful. That's fair.
That's all. Yeah.
and you're gonna pay tribute, man.
Right.
You know, of course, the other heathens outside of Esau, they're gonna have their own portion of land. They're gonna be able to plant and grow things.
Right.
But the best of those things, they're gonna be bringing to us, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they're gonna still be way better off than they are under Esau's rulership.
Oh, right. They'll appreciate it,
You know,
you know? Go ahead.
Isaiah 14 and 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
In the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. When did this happen after the Babylonian?
Exactly.
Even if you had a few Jakes with servants, that on a large scale, Jake didn't win like that, man.
Right. Like you said, we were commissioned to build a temple, we was given
Right.
free. When the other heathen was trying to build with us and we said no, who were they go tell?
right?
The Persian Empire. They
Right.
tried to get us to have the build a temple stop.
Right.
It did actually stop for a long period of time.
Hell of years.
Hell of years.
And the Cyrus, I believe. Was it Cyrus?
Xerxes, one of them, yeah.
Darius.
Yep.
Right.
It was Cyrus.
Cyrus.
And then, you know, he later on down the line, I believe it was like 8 years later.
Yeah, you had Cyrus and you had Cambyses, his son, that rode right after him.
Right.
And Cambyses was a hoe.
Yeah,
That's who those people that wrote that letter to. Those
Right.
different
Right,
heathen
the whole-
that wrote that letter. They wrote that to Cambyses. And then you had Darius, who was later on, which was that's when Zerubbabel was on the
There you
scene.
go.
Right.
You know what I'm
Haggai.
saying? And
They were
Haggai.
like, look, let's get it. man.
Exactly, and that's when we was able to actually move back
They kept
and actually
chilling.
build.
Yeah.
Because Darius had went to those different scrolls that Darius, I'm sorry, I keep saying Darius, that Cyrus wrote,
Cyrus, yeah.
and Cyrus read the prophecy in Isaiah 45 as pertaining to him.
Right.
So those heathen that tried to go to Darius, he had to check their ass on that.
Right.
And we actually was able to go back and build the temple under Darius, man.
Right, because
You know?
Darius pretty much just reiterated the decree that Cyrus had.
That's
initially
all it
put out.
was.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Right, so Darius
That's right.
had the final say so we weren't. That wasn't
We weren't in the
time.
kingdom.
Right.
We weren't at rest.
We had to get permission.
We had to give permission.
Isaiah 14 is talking about what's getting ready to happen.
That's right. That's right.
Yep, and we're gonna have slaves. It told you right there in the land of the Lord, because where is the kingdom gonna be set up at? Jerusalem.
Mhm.
That's right.
That's gonna be the headquarters.
That's right.
And we're gonna rule out of Jerusalem, you know, and pretty much the whole world will be ours under Yahushua, man.
That's
Yeah, 'cause
right.
he said in Psalms,
Yeah.
ask of me,
And I will give you the heathen. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Man.
So it's the same thing, man. You
That's right.
people just don't wanna hear it. Go ahead.
So Amos 9:11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof.
Right,
And
right.
I will raise up his ruins and will build it as in the days of
And
old.
that's what's happening. And if we're building, and we gotta, the scriptures are code. If we're building the tabernacles of David in the day, as in the days of old, how in the hell can everybody be saved when David ruled over the heathen
Right.
Right.
and boasted and bragged and sung about it in some of the Psalms?
Yep.
2 Samuel 22, read that. That's a song that the
Mhm.
Lord praised the Lord for giving him the throne.
Yep.
Of delivering him from all his enemies. He
Mhm.
had subdued all of his enemies. He got over because Jake was trying to kill him. The Lord rescued him out of all of their hands, and he
Mhm.
sung a whole song about
Right.
ruling over his
That's
enemies.
right. That's right.
So if the Lord is building the tabernacle of David as in the days of old, how in the hell can everybody be saved?
Mhm.
Go ahead, bro.
That verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen,
Right.
which are called by my name, saith Yahweh, Hashem Yahshua, that do with this.
That's right. He's the one who did this. This is by his decree. At the end of the day, the heathen belong to the Most High.
That's right.
But he's going to give them into the hand of his son. We're going to get all of those lands. We're going to get all of those riches. You're going to be unto as booties, man.
That's right. That's
You
right.
spoils of war.
Spoils.
We're going to take everything under Yahushua.
Him and other
God.
nations too. For
That's
you
right.
niggas that get emotional over that too.
Well, the scriptures say the law, statutes, and commandments are going to be written in our inward part. Is there not a law that when you take down a nation, if you see a beautiful daughter amongst theirs, you can have her? Is that not going to be written in
You
us?
just gonna have what you like to.
Now, you may not want a heathen woman. Me personally, I love Israelite women.
Kind
But I'll be damned if when we take this thing over, I'm not going to see beautiful women of the heathen nations.
They gonna be
of, you gonna have them.
We'll take the best.
Hey, there's a concubine, there's a law, there's an order. You don't marry her like you would marry your wife. And she's not just a sex slave. A lot of brothers say that sex, we don't operate like that. Ultimately, it's just a lesser wife.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's
That's
all
all
it
it is, man.
Yeah, you can say that, but at the end of the day, she's really helping forward your business.
Exactly.
She's a woman that you lay with,
Mhm.
but she's a servant
Right.
in your household.
Extremely low rank.
And she's an asset servant.
But of the other women that ain't in your house, like the other regular women of the heathen nation, she's better off than them because she got a little bit of access to you know.
Yeah, she's in the castle.
And she's gonna be happy to serve you, man.
Yes.
She's gonna be happy with joy. She's gonna be jovial to serve you, man.
Right.
Hey,
She's
look
gonna
at
be
Abraham
righteous.
with Hagar.
Right.
That's it.
God.
It's all about growing the hell up, man. A lot of you Israelites are too goddamn immature,
The
man.
westernized mentality.
Westernized mentality,
America
man.
too long, man.
Sheesh.
All this wine,
Yeah.
boy.
Boy, you drunk it.
Y'all
Go
had
ahead.
a plate.
Niggas in America too damn long, man.
Man.
So, verse 13.
Babylon Jews everywhere.
Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper,
Mm.
and the trader treader of grapes, him that soweth seed.
Right.
And the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and the hill shall melt. So we're the plowman right now. We're the ones
That's
that
it.
work right now.
That's right, brother.
You know, and Esau is reaping all the benefits off the backs of Jay plowing, man.
James,
You know, that's free for James 5, you know, but like the brother going into Isaiah 14, that's the precept.
let's go to Isaiah
We
14.
gonna take them out, you know, we're gonna take them over.
Jacob get everything.
Amen.
Yeah, but that's definitely what's happening in James the 5th chapter. We're in that time
That's
too.
right.
We'll get that in a minute. Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, going back to verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were,
Yep.
which did not happen back in the time back then.
That did not happen. This is gonna happen. Revelation 13:9-10. He that leadeth into captivity
That's right.
shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Woo! Ain't got a problem with that. I don't know people have a problem with that right there, what the scriptures say.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they only oppress each other.
Yeah.
Oh, well, well.
The heathens would be all with that type of promise, man.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Come. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Rest.
Which didn't happen back then.
That did not happen. Rest from thy sorrows, man. That didn't happen
No.
That damn sure didn't happen at the time of the Persian Empire.
Hell no.
We got a little bit of, we had our little apartments and little sea-lead houses, but we weren't winning like
Yeah.
that, bro.
After Solomon, it was all downhill.
And then who came next? The Greeks.
Yep.
Right.
Now, Alexander the Great allowed Jake to, do
Yeah.
their thing. He really wasn't as hardcore on the Jews. He didn't like us, but it was later on through Antiochus where the real hell came.
Hellenization.
Right.
But that we didn't have rest from the point of
Right.
the Persian Empire.
Hell no.
We were through.
But it is, at a time when you read the book of Esther, we weren't chilling. Haman was trying to get rid of us.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of your ass.
You
You
know,
still
in
was
that, in that
Oh, we got
captivity.
Purim. Yep.
Yep, that's right.
And even under Alexander, which he didn't give us hell, but we still had to pay a portion of tribute unto them.
Mhm.
And if we didn't, they would have us put to death.
Right.
So there was no rest, even though he didn't give us as much hell as Antiochus did. But bro, these were Edomites, bro.
Right.
That nigga's called the goat. He's that horn that came from that he goat for a reason, bro.
Right.
He started what you see right now.
Right.
That's right.
He's at the figurehead. He's the figurehead.
Wickedness
Mhm.
is multiplied in earth.
That's right.
Right. Go ahead.
Come. It says in verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord, so like in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Man, this is it. This is the day we've been looking for. The
Yep.
Lord is gonna give us rest from this, man. This is some bullshit right
That's
here.
right.
I'm tired of it, man. I'm over it. That's why, man, my emotions towards what's happening is just kind of, let it happen, let it happen, man. Ride the wave,
Mhm.
And we know it's gonna be hard, but we got to go through it. You got to go through it in order to get that glory. The Lord got to fulfill His story. Go ahead.
Verse 4, and thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Against the king of Babylon, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. So this chapter, the oppression is going to end with the king of Babylon, man. We're going to take up a proverb against the king of Babylon. And in various scriptures, you can link the Edomites to Babylon.
That's right. That's right. And that proverb is likened unto the Song of Moses, man.
Yep.
Because right after the Lord destroyed the Egyptians, there was a proverb that was sung against the Egyptians and against the heathen that was going to rule over us later.
Right.
And even that song that you was talking about in 2 Samuel 22,
Mhm.
that was a proverb. That was a proverb that was given out, that was given over our enemies, how King David
Right.
was able to stand over them afterwards, man.
Right.
And in Revelation 15,
Revelation
that's a
15
proverb,
is
man.
saying we're going to sing the song of Moses. Another clue that ain't everybody can't be saying.
That's it.
If we're going to be singing the song of Moses, when you go to that song, he's boasting over Egyptians falling. He's
Right,
boasting
bro.
over the Edomites falling. He's boasting over the Moabites, the Canaanites.
Mm.
So if we're going to be singing that same song, again, how can everybody be saved?
Right. It makes no sense.
It don't make
bro.
no sense.
Man,
He made a covenant for the world. He made a covenant for the world of
That's right.
Israel to remember.
that's right. bro.
Right.
If I may bring up this quick point real quick, that shows you why the church has been a huge stumbling block to Jake, because they'll tell you not to read the whole Old Testament when there's so many things that shows us, it reveals unto us what's taking place right now.
That's right.
And the only way to understand that, you have to read those things to understand it today. Ultimately, the Spirit of the Lord got to be dealing with you.
Yep.
The church has told you to strip all this away
Right.
and not read all this, to the point where if you read what's later on, and through their witchcraft, you're going to think that it's given unto everybody, man.
Yeah, the Old Testament done away with.
It makes no sense.
The Old Covenant, but they don't even understand that.
Nope.
They don't get those things. Well, this is where we come in, and you've been talking all this shit, and you wrong. You niggas are wrong. You Christians have been wrong the whole time. All caps.
All caps.
Wrong in the hole, bro.
Niggas have been wrong, and we're getting ready to mock at your fear, man.
Yep.
White Jesus is getting ready to dupe you niggas, man. You got something?
Yeah, I got one. It's going into what y'all going into, because Yahushua himself in Matthew, the 5th chapter, he said he didn't come to do away with the old law,
Right.
but to fulfill it.
Right.
This is 1 John 2:7. It says, "Brethren, I write no Salaki.
All right.
Brethren,
Yep.
I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye have heard, which ye have had from the beginning."
Here it is, the Lord will come and do away with the laws and then write them in you.
No sense. bro.
He did away with it, but then the new covenant, I'm gonna put them back in you.
Hey, that's all Paul quoted was Isaiah, all the prophets, Yahushua. That's all it was quoting was the prophets.
All of them.
You know, as it was written. Anytime you see that Yahushua says that, he was quoting the prophets.
Those are precepts unto the Gentiles. That
Right.
Paul used. Like, bro, to expound on my point, this is the precept.
Right.
The Old Testament.
He was set up for
Quoting
that.
Psalms. That showed David was a prophet too.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna continue on. It says, matter of fact, I'll start over. 1 John 2:7. It says, "Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning," which we know the word is Yahushua, pursuant to John the 1st chapter.
Right.
It says, "Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shining." And that's ultimately talking about Yahushua. He comes in the volume of the book, is written of him. It tells you that in Psalms, the 40th chapter, and Hebrews, the 10th chapter.
Yep.
You know? So everything, whether it be in the old and new, it all encompasses Yahushua and what he would come to do. That's why the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they knew the prophecies concerning the Messiah. They was trying to put it all together, man. What were they going to view those prophecies? Going into the scrolls, man.
We
You
do
know?
the same thing. And there's prophecies in the Torah that hadn't been fulfilled. yet.
Right, bro.
You see what I'm saying? Shiloh gotta come.
Right.
That's in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Now he came as a man, but eventually he's gonna come with that blood all over his garment, man.
Mhm.
You know?
Right.
That's right, bro.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, back to verse 4.
So the king of Babylon are the Edomites.
That's it.
That's the final, because when you read Revelation, the 18th chapter, what has to happen in order for the kingdom to come?
The accused, according to Revelation 18.
Yeah.
Well, Babylon.
Babylon got them all.
Yeah.
But that's in the New Testament. So
Right.
we're basically reading about the same thing. But there's a nation that controls this modern day Babylon.
Exactly.
So this scripture, this chapter is going into how we're going to be mocking the king of Babylon. Who's the king of that Babylon? Esau, Edom.
Mhm.
The final captivity is through him. Real quick, Lamentations 4:22. To prove that our captivity ends with Esau.
Mhm.
The fourth beast, that's the final captivity. Babylon the Great. The revived Roman Empire. Go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 4, it's on verse 21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz.
Mm-hmm.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked."
Right. You're going to make yourself naked. You're going to be found out to be the wicked. Go ahead.
It's Isaiah 47 as well.
Yep.
"The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion."
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Through who? Esau. It just told you. Go ahead.
"He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Mm-hmm.
He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom.
Right.
He will discover thy
And will
sins."
discover thy sins. So it's going to be through Esau, Edom, that we're going to get the final rest. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. This is exactly what Isaiah the 14th chapter is saying, man. Go ahead.
If I say this real quick, I mentioned Isaiah 47. It talks about what the virgin daughter of Babylon being revealed, and then Eliyahu Shmuel always has to go into how when you go into Isaiah Psalms 137, Edom is equated with the daughter of Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon. Man,
Yep. This is a spiritual puzzle, man.
that's the spiritual both in the future prophecy.
God, that's right. Just a quick precept going into that nakedness being shown. Habakkuk 3:13. "Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck." And it goes into the salvation of the people first. But in order for us to be saved, Babylon has to be taken down. And within Babylon's destruction taking place, the wicked, which starts with Esau, Edom, their nakedness is going to be shown.
Right.
Here it talks about all the way unto their neck. So you got the toes to the neck, everything being revealed, man. And we see it right now. Everything's being revealed with this devil. We see it at least.
Yeah,
The rest of the world don't.
The skirt is being lifted up.
That's it.
So you can see all that filth and witchcraft, idolatry, and defiled creatures, everything.
That's right. That's right.
Stank.
Mhm.
Man, America's a nasty hole, man.
Plus bumps.
Plus bumps.
What's
you
it,
know?
scum, in Ezekiel speaks about the scum. What is it? You got it right.
Discharge.
The worst of the
Infection,
heathen.
yeah.
The scriptures call Esau the worst of the heathen. Go ahead.
Mhm. Come. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. Continuing in verse 4. "How hath the oppressor ceased?" This is the proverb that's taken up against Babylon. It says, "How has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
Ain't Babylon in Revelation 18 called the
Mhm.
Golden City or
Yep.
something at some point?
That's right. That's right.
That's a direct link.
That's the direct link.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like we keep saying, he's Nebuchadnezzar and his whole line. They ceased because why? The Persian captivity came.
Exactly.
Right,
They had nothing to do with us.
right.
You know.
Right, they didn't fall, they wasn't burnt.
Yeah.
This ain't talking about ancient Babylon.
That's right.
Ancient Babylon fell into the hands of the Medes,
That's right, bro.
okay?
That's
And
right.
Daniel, the prophet, was at the party and prophesied it. They were partying,
They face.
they were chilling, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he stood up, and they needed the understanding of a hand that wrote the vision, and Daniel was the only one that could break it down,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
That's right.
And it fell. It wasn't burnt forever, and that region of the earth was destroyed. No, that's gonna happen to this new Babylon.
That's right. That's right, bro. Just as you read this here, where it says, "How had the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased." That's just like Moses singing a song about Pharaoh and his chariots
There you
falling.
go. It's the same
You
song.
know, because nobody would have ever imagined that back then when they was in power,
Right.
but it had taken place.
Right.
And that's the same song. This is the same proverb that we're going to take up while we in those chariots singing that song, man.
Sing that song.
You know?
Yep. Go ahead.
Isaiah 14:5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked,
Mhm.
the scepter of the rulers.
Yep.
He who smote the people in wrath.
He who smote the people in wrath. Who's done that? Who has smote everybody in wrath, man? Go ahead.
With a continual stroke.
With the continual stroke, he has not stopped. Sending economic hitmen over the world, ruining and uprooting governments, changing whole cultures and family structures, putting the women against the men, fagging out the men, raping little children, being a demon, doing all sorts of wickedness all over the planet Earth, man. Continually. Who's done that? Now, keep in mind that it's talking about the king of Babylon, too.
Right.
Keep that in your mind as you keep reading this chapter,
Gone.
because it makes a very, very subtle switch to how he's addressed, and it bugs a lot of people out.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Continuing on in verse 6. He that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth.
Nobody's gonna hinder it. Everybody gonna be down with it. Go ahead.
The whole earth is at rest.
The whole, even with like
Yes.
this, with how things are now, like animals are chilling, like you know.
Bro, if I was having a conversation with some of my coworkers yesterday,
Mhm.
we've heard this too. Ever since this thing hit, bro, the global pollution level has depleted, bro.
Depleted.
They're saying from space in these space stations, you can see the city of Las Vegas all the way from the space stations, bro.
Finally.
And
Right.
before there was smog and different things in the air, you can see all this stuff
Cars,
right now.
That's about almost, yeah, come on.
Particular animals are showing back up around
Right.
certain cities and certain
Yeah.
bays
Right,
and areas.
right.
now.
Yep.
So imagine when his ass is really fully put down.
That's
man.
right, bro.
This earth is gonna be at peace, man. Second Esdras, the 11th chapter goes into that, man. The whole earth is gonna be at rest. The trees are gonna rejoice, man.
That's right, bro.
Everything is gonna be able to be what it's supposed to be. A possum can be a possum in that day. Nobody will be. He won't be in fear of being eaten. You won't even see it. It'll be in amongst the other animals somewhere cleaning things up, man.
Yep.
So, man, a beautiful day is coming for the earth. All creation is waiting on the sons of God to be put back in their lot so that it can be used for what it was supposed to be used for. The animals are misused. Bees are dying off. Everything is out of whack, man. So the whole earth is going to be at rest when Babylon the Great falls. Real quick, you got something? And somebody get 2nd Esdras 11 and the last verse. Go ahead.
Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged,
Mhm.
and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets,
Right,
and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great,
right.
and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Woo! Destroy them which destroy the earth. Now read that real quick. The last two verses in 2nd Esdras 11.
This is 2nd Esdras 11 and 45. It says, "And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers,
His rulers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, his Caesars back then, and then now his presidents and different.
Yep, they here today.
Back again.
They back doing the same wickedness. Go ahead.
nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body,
Mm-hmm.
that all the earth may be refreshed,
Mm.
and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her.
The earth is waiting on us to be put back in power. The earth needs with this message, man. Under Yahweh Shai, everything, that's why the Lord said eventually he's going to set over the earth one that's profitable.
Right.
And that's Yahweh Shai. Go back to Isaiah 14.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. It's taking place. The animals coming out of nowhere, pollution depleting.
Everybody is happy. Everything wants him to go away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The earth is like quiet. When you look outside, bro, it's quiet out there.
Mhm.
Man, quiet.
It is.
That's right. You can hear 2 mosquitoes doing their thing.
Right, but especially here, this was the worst part.
That's the worst
man.
part right
You go to Europe, man, the streets are clean.
Right.
I was looking at something on YouTube, man. It was the streets. They go crazy if you litter.
Streets
Like
out there, yeah.
all it's clean,
Yeah.
and we're gonna take over all of those particular places, man.
Mm-hmm.
All of the whole earth, each member of the 144, I believe the Lord is under Yahweh Shai is gonna set them over particular regions, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we gonna set up shop, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Countryside.
Oh man, we gonna be winning. New Zealand, all of that beautiful water and all of these different land masses, we gonna live there.
Yeah, first Polynesian islands on that area.
Man,
See what it's all about.
But you know what we gonna do first? We gonna have all of the heathen get up that concrete. We don't need concrete.
Get that
in our
shit
kingdom.
out
Get
the
that
way.
shit out of the way.
That
That's
shit's
what you
toxic.
heathen are gonna do.
Yeah.
Toxic.
Oh man, bro.
It's gonna be brought back to Eden, paradise, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Connected with the earth.
Connected with the earth, man.
This is Isaiah 14:8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against
The
us.
trees get chopped down at an exponential rate, at a wicked rate.
Yeah.
And a fir tree is what they know as a Christmas tree. What you know as a Christmas tree, that's a fir tree. And in ancient Babylon, it was used for wicked practices. And today it's being used for wicked practices.
Right.
So once they stop getting cut down, you know, or because that's a very vital tree. Because it never dies. It don't die in the winter.
Right.
So there's particular animals that need those trees, man.
What's up? Bad.
There's particular species that need those trees for a survival method during the winter.
That's right.
But if you cutting them all down, now they gotta kill each other, they losing it,
Destroying the ecosystem.
destroying the ecosystem, man.
Right. If I said there's a law in Deuteronomy about how you're supposed to cut down trees.
Right,
If you go to war, you know, you're only supposed to use particular trees
right,
for war in that time. Other than you're not supposed to just clear cut trees like he's saying.
right, like he's done.
Clearing out a
He
whole-
got a show, he got TV shows where he just cutting down trees.
Mm-hmm.
Destroys the Amazon rainforest, and he just burns all that shit up.
Right, and then build a taco
Walmart,
shop,
a Costco.
a Walmart, a Costco. You know, a Coney dog, a
Gas
Sonic,
station.
a Sonic. It was just paradise. Now it's a nigga with some skates doing a spin, giving you your order, man. Bugged out. The so-called white man's the devil. I don't care what none of you say.
Yeah.
Keep going. Is that
Is that the camera?
camera for the dime, or we good?
Let me see. Since the battery's about to.
We still on.
We still
Okay, we should.
Okay. Yeah, it's just it's down to a low percentage.
It is.
Yeah,
You say we
Yeah.
about
it's looking like the battery might have died throughout some time,
Okay.
but it's all good.
We got a plug. We got a plug.
Show do right here.
Yeah, like a little. Instead of into the battery.
Yep.
Damn, that's crazy.
All good. Got it right here.
Yep. Go ahead, bro.
Back in Isaiah 14, what verse was that? 10?
I was at verse 8.
8, Salaki.
Yeah.
Isaiah
We in the
14 and
spirit,
8.
man. We in the spirit.
It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up
You
against
gotta
us.
be wicked to where a tree is happy your ass gone.
Right. The feller is talking about a lumberjack.
That's
right?
it.
One
That's
that cuts
it.
down trees,
Well, when you
man.
look up the word, yeah, it's going to somebody who cuts down trees, man. Hey, the whole creation has a spirit to it, man. These trees have spirits, man.
You go downtown, you saw
Yeah.
planting trees in concrete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
What happens, man?
Why you doing that?
Go ahead.
You want to continue? I was gonna read. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Right,
It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth.
right, and that's what's happening. The elder, what did he just bring out? What did he say? The nations are angry,
Right.
and thy wrath is come, man, to destroy them which destroy the earth. We're reading the same thing, but in a different vision, man. Go ahead.
Just a quick precept. This is Ezekiel 31:16. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall. And when I cast them down to hell with them that descended into the pit, and all the trees of Eden The choice and the best of Lebanon, all that drink water shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth. Just going into the downfall of this devil and how the whole world's gonna be comforted when this is born, when this is made known.
Bro, this nigga is in the way of happiness, bro.
Mhm.
Think about all of the paperwork you have to fill out in your life.
Right.
Job interviews,
Oh, man.
internet connection, all of this is just some bullshit, man.
Mhm.
Having to hide your manhood. Just to be a man, you gotta sneak and be the man.
Right.
Come on, man, this man gotta go.
Mhm.
I don't understand how any Israelite can see it any other way. Go ahead.
I have a precept.
Go ahead.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1, I'm reading down to verse 4. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, when the mourners like they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Mhm.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against his family do I devise an evil,
Mhm.
from which ye shall not remove your necks.
Talking about the king of Babylon. It's talking about you Edomites.
Yep.
Things are written in code, and see, the elect put things together. That's the beauty of the understanding of these scriptures, man. Like we were talking about Enoch. Enoch ain't something you can just read and put it together. You got to put all of the precepts together, and it really tells you a
Yep.
story of a man that was so on fire, the Lord delivered him and beamed him up into the chair. It tells
Bro.
a beautiful story.
That's gotta be Elijah, bro. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Dang.
Go ahead.
So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Right.
Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against his family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks.
Mhm.
Neither shall ye go heartily, for this time is evil.
This time is evil. You ain't go executive order your way or QE your way or be the, because the Rothschilds are basically doing all of this. The rulers,
Mhm.
Right.
they're doing all of this to the earth, man. They're
Right.
playing with humanity as toys, man.
That's right.
And there ain't gonna be no hill in Babylon, like
Ain't
it
no
tells you in
hill.
Jeremiah 51.
Right. Go ahead.
Last verse. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with their doleful lamentation, say, we be utterly spoiled. He that changed the portion of my people, how had he removed it from me?
Mhm.
Turning away, he had divided our fields. And that's what it's been done to every nation on planet Earth, man. Everyone complaining, like
He's
one
there.
in 14, man.
Yep.
You know, he's changed the portion of everyone. He's taking on everyone's identity. He's hoarding everyone's resources. Destabilizing their societies and their economies. You know, but we're in a time where he's about to be destroyed for them. He's getting the big payback.
Right.
You know.
I got a quick one.
All right, and then let's get back to Isaiah 14. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 23. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Mhm.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon.
Same thing he told Esau. The men of thy confederacy have basically laid a snare for thee, a wound for thee, and you were not aware.
Right,
Showing you that Esau and Babylon are the same thing.
right,
He controls the modern. Because you got to remember, Esau was blessed with the fatness of the earth.
right.
A lot of people don't. That had to happen. When did that happen? When did one nation control the whole entire planet Earth?
Come on, man.
Show me that. This is the time.
Right.
Right now is the only time one nation of people have controlled the whole.
Right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying? When did Esau get his blessed? The Roman Empire. That was only a section of the earth.
Right.
The Roman Empire. They didn't. You know.
Yeah.
He got complete dominance right now. He's filming all type of islands. He's doing whatever the hell he wants.
He's
He's
got
like,
his
That's the
claws
beast
in
right
the
there.
planet.
Bro.
Yeah, Esau got satellites.
You got satellite. Even the people who you think are well off, these heathen nations, he's really at the forefront of it.
Mhm.
The Saudis, those are Edomites.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now, the particular Arab nations, they do have their little setup and blessings, but Esau's got his hand in every
Right.
little thing, man.
Right.
The banking families run every goddamn thing, man.
Mhm.
you really want to prosper, you gotta come to their table.
You gotta come to their table in some shape, form, or fashion.
This is their kingdom.
Right.
Mhm.
Ain't no other way. You want to get paid, you got to come to their table,
You
man.
gotta go through there, you gotta play their game, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 24. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware.
Mhm.
Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord.
You got caught, boy.
You played yourself.
Right, and you're vastly overrated. You so-called white people ain't all that, man.
Right.
No, man. No, indeed.
You've been found out, man.
Right.
And the prophets of the Lord are at the forefront of it, man. Through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
They said, we tell it.
We telling, we telling.
Snitching on your
Well,
ass.
that's what we're building a case.
Tell it right.
Right now, we're basically we're all, Esau's going to the judge, but he's going through Satan, and we're going to the judge through our lawyer, Yahushua.
That's right.
And we're building it, look what he's doing.
Right.
And we're gonna see whose testimony stands. See, Esau has to lie and make us to seem as terrorists,
Right.
so that he can try to trick the Most High. All right, well, they're being carnal. That's why Esau's doing all of that lying and trying to link us to terrorism, because he knows we lose in that area.
Right.
Our blessing is spiritual. What we have to, how we're gonna overcome you is so, and you're being supplanted all over again.
Exactly. It's not gonna work. That's why Scripture says that the accuser of our brethren is being cast down, man.
God said the accuser.
You know?
This time.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead. That's right. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his anointed, which it says Christ right there. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before the Most High day and night. You got it, brother.
Oh yeah, no, break it down.
Nah, you got it.
Oh, Con, pretty much. You brought up the point earlier going into what has to take place in order for us to be saved. You know, and the answer was Babylon has to be taken down. You look at it through prophecy, who was over Babylon? It's Esau Edom. Okay, this is the same man that sets up draconian laws, namely that's against us. Earlier, before we started this class, there was a documentary that we was watching going into how Esau automatically sets stumbling blocks and different hurdles against Jake's.
Right.
Just so we can perfectly from the womb. Right when a Jake child is born, they pump him up with different vaccinations and such. And if he's able to overcome those vaccinations, it starts with abortion. And then the vaccinations. And if you're over the vaccinations, then you have to grow up in a poverty in a society where the father's not there and such. It's automatically erased out of the womb that we have to start off
And
with,
then
man.
that formula, you gotta think that formula that
That's
Jake,
another one.
that's based upon the genetic makeup of an Edomite child. So
Yep.
Esau is all, when you're born, he's trying to lower you from your vibration, from the way that you're born, from what he does to you when you're born,
That's
how
it.
he immediately cuts
Yep.
the umbilical cord.
Mhm.
That ain't how it was done in the ancient
Nope.
world. Yeah, this man is an absolute demon, man. Most women ain't able to breastfeed. So what do? They give you that formula.
That's right. That's right.
And that formula lowers you from what you're supposed to be. Breastfeeding is essential to a culture, to a child, connection with his culture and mother, man.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I'm just saying that formula is something he made from his.
Yeah,
That's
it's based
crazy.
upon a genetic makeup. Esau, you know what he's doing?
Oh my.
That's what his formula is.
Very good. The formula.
That's the formula.
You want to formulate.
Yeah, so the fact that we're here is a miracle, man. We're supposed to be bugged and retarded, eating lollipops for dinner. You know, that's what Esau wanted. But the Spirit had the Lord had the Spirit come, and now we're here, man.
The prophecy, you shall eat our food and fathers amongst the Gentiles, that goes into that breast, or that nourishment of the baby as well, man. You know, but the Lord, he prophesied it, but that means that he was still gonna be protecting here because of that promise he gave.
Yep, it said we would be nourished for a time away from we would be here, but the Lord would allow particular things for us to flourish and get this word, man. Because Esau his stupid ass should have left us in slavery. But the Lord put the Spirit on him to pass particular laws, and now we were able to go to the library. Then we woke up.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's it.
Right, and we overcame your chicken nuggets, your McDonald's, your Taco Bell, your fake meat, your fake the foul water. We overcame all of that.
That's right.
And now we're in our right mind, and we know the truth.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And like we're going into all the chicken nuggets, the Whoppers, the Big Macs, all this has to be destroyed.
Gotta go.
It gotta go before we're able to see salvation, man. And we're seeing the start of it right now, which is beautiful, man.
That's right.
You know, call like hey, this is the start of it, man. The grinding ceasing, that starts with the accuser of our brother being taken down.
Right.
Even though the Lord has him doing that, he's still under the Lord's program. Yahweh has this taking place in order for us to see salvation, man. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Remember that McRib making the tour.
Yeah.
None of that. We could have win.
Once I let you do all that shit, he slowed the anger.
Right.
And this time you're not gonna get acquitted off this case.
Right.
No, it's
It's,
sad.
Esau's kingdom, you can get acquitted. And this one right here, buddy, this case right here, you're not gonna be able to get off this one, man.
They've been able to get away with, I'm talking about mass pedophilia. mass drug dealing, mass wickedness, man. The psych med industry. You've been able to hide and get off, man, from doing all of this. But now there's coming a time where a true judge is coming, man.
Right.
You know?
That's right, bro.
You got something more?
Isaiah?
Yeah, Isaiah 14, let's go back there.
This is Isaiah 14:9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee, Salakia. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Mm-hmm.
It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
All of the kings of the nations are tired of your ass, man. And right now, even amongst your own nations, they're in plans, even amongst other Edomite countries and nations, they're in plans to come together with a new currency system, anything to get Babylon the Great out of there, man.
Right.
They're tired of your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of them are down with the New World Order, but they're fighting over who's going to get what and what's going to get this and this is going to get that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. All they that speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we?
Are you become weak as we? Now the nations are looking at the so-called white man, and particularly America, like, man, nigga, you through. You ain't got it. Go ahead.
Art thou become like unto us?
Mm-hmm.
Thy pomp, which means pride, is brought down to the grave.
Mm.
In the noise of thy viols, which is the
Right.
music,
The
which
music, right.
And you look at it now.
Right.
This pride is gone since the coronavirus
Mhm.
came.
Right,
It's
right.
slowly seeping out.
that's right, bro.
And the music is trash. No more
Right.
concerts.
Right,
No more people. Hey, y'all ain't making no more records for money. You ain't going on tour no more.
Right,
That
right.
shit is
He
through.
got to do a
Music-
show in his
Right.
bedroom.
Yeah, yeah, we got Whitney Houston.
too.
Whitney, not Whitney Houston. Will Smith doing a chill hop playlist now.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, I see.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, click on it, man.
Instead
Oh,
of the
man.
bitch, you know, writing the little thing.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know, Questlove did a 4-hour mix.
I'm
Yeah,
like, 4
uh,
hours, nigga, you bored.
He's gonna be doing podcasts and all of that.
But see, they can still make a little money. off
Mhm.
it. But see, that's gonna be cut.
Right.
But see, read that again about the vows.
Come. It says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave and the noise of thy viols.
The vows, that's really his doctrine, his tongue.
Okay.
Just as we have a new song,
Yeah.
Esau got his song, and you can read about that in Ezekiel 28. It talks about he get it, Ezekiel 28, real quick. Nah, it's in that chapter, but when you read down, it talks about how Satan he has his vibration, man. He has his, and we're witnessing it, man. Ezekiel 28. Go to verse. Start at 11.
Ezekiel 28:11, it says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation.
Sorry, go to 13. Let's just get it.
Ezekiel 28:13, thou hast been in Eden, the garden of the Most High.
Right, now this is going because he started as a serpent, right?
Right.
He started as a serpent. Now he's a seven-headed beast with 10 horns.
Right.
That old serpent called the devil and Satan.
Full-grown dragon.
The full-grown dragon. Go ahead.
It says, every precious stone was thy covering,
Mm-hmm.
the sardis, topaz,
Mhm.
and the diamond,
Mm-hmm.
the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, or carbuncle, and gold,
Mm-hmm.
and the workmanship of thy
So
tabrets.
the workmanship of thy tab, meaning he's basically used everything that's meant for good.
Right.
He's had the whole world is in his hands now, and he's used it for wickedness.
Right.
But read that part again about the tabrets.
It says, the workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created.
Basically, you were created to be the voice of wickedness.
Yeah.
You were created to be the opposition of righteousness.
Right.
You see? And, you know, a lot of people like to say Satan was over music. That ain't what that's talking about.
Right, bro.
This is basically speaking of Esau. He has a philosophy. They understand that there is a higher power of God, but they live by the rule that we don't have to follow his rules.
Right.
Do as thou wilt. And look what it's led to.
Right.
That's their song, man.
Psalms the 50th chapter. They
Yeah.
cast the word of the Most High behind them, man.
Yep, that's it on that.
Yeah.
Go back to Isaiah 4. So that music Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
He's even used music for
Right,
wickedness.
exactly. He put the vibrations on.
Yeah, you know, he understood, he took frequencies
That's right.
and altered them and made a nation of damn beasts. Because before you go to war, there's particular type of music you would listen to.
Put
Well,
you in
now
the spirit.
people are listening to this music in the damn club.
War drums all day.
War drum, the way that Esau, these drum patterns, that trap music, it really puts.
Yeah.
But see, we can listen to it, but those enchantments don't come on. But
Right.
think about our people who don't have the knowledge of the Lord, the
Right.
Spirit of the Lord, and
Right.
even some brothers, man, it puts demons on
Put demons
sometimes.
on you, man.
That trap music, some of those patterns sound decent, but a lot of you can't. It's only you should limit how much you listen to that stuff, man.
Yep.
Shit keep got you on a prowl like in the club, man.
Right.
That's ready to knock somebody out. Like that Bullet John
Right.
shit came out.
Right.
Bro, we used to watch that
I
shit.
ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared. Niggas in the club fighting, just
Tear
listening
the
to
club up. Oh, it's over. 3-6 Mafia.
Right. They were giving you instructions. Walk up to the next nigga, look him in his eye, and tell him, "I ain't never." So Jake in the club,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, doing that, you was
what?
scared.
They
Yeah.
drunk. They got the spirits on them already, and then the music just turns them into a
man.
whole complete. And he through music, he's pretty much he's basically forged the whole culture of beast
Right.
through the music. That's one thing, man.
Man, it's a lot that comes
Hey, so let's say he's wiser than Daniel, meaning on the wicked, on the
On the
left
left
side.
side,
Okay,
right.
done. Yeah.
And really, that was a
Yeah.
mocking too. You
Right.
become wiser
Yeah,
than
true,
Daniel
true.
because Daniel was good at foretelling the future and
Right.
breaking down dreams. But Esau, through his technology,
Right.
Planes and shit.
right, he's trying to read the future and
Mhm. Makes
self-fulfilled prophecies in movies and cartoons. This man is the devil, man.
Make a vaccine versus
He's
the
not as
herbs.
smart as
The herbs
proclaimed
will
to
heal
be,
you.
too.
Oh yeah.
That's like saying, I'm sorry.
He's not as smart as he proclaims because he makes a lot of mistakes, like we was talking about earlier, man. He just be coming up with these theories and experiments. He makes a lot of mistakes. He's trying to perfect certain things, man.
Yeah.
His
You know?
technology is hella flawed.
It's hell all kind of flaws. man.
Darwinism is flawed.
Yeah.
Here it is. He could tell you how all species were created, but he didn't know how plants were created.
Gone. Yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
Stupid ass people. Man.
Yeah, I was
Stephen Hawking.
I was watching a little documentary earlier going into how these niggas really in the early 1900s they had prepared to actually dry out the Mediterranean coast, the Mediterranean Sea, and they were pretty much saying that if they was to dry out the Mediterranean Sea, that would leave a large void where they could actually use that void for natural resources on the earth by you building a dam and using turbines to pretty much create more energy to the world. But then they went into the flaws of that and said that if they was to drain the Mediterranean coast and make a dam, that would cause the northern region of South America and the southern region of North America to be flooded 10 meters underwater. But this is actually a thought process, and they tried it in the early 1900s. They just didn't have enough concrete to make it. But this is the mindset of this devil and the type of thoughts and ideas that he prepares to do,
Oh, yeah.
and how he might look at it as to quantify it pretty much as a resource to make the world better, but really it's destroying all life everywhere else, man.
Right.
And that's this nigga right here, and he's been doing this stuff.
Because he doesn't rely on the Heavenly Father. The Lord gave the
Right.
tools and everything like planet Earth for it to thrive in cohesiveness.
Just like
Yeah.
Cain was tilling the earth. Abel just let the earth be. He
That's
took the animals and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, but he actually, when you look at it, he was a businessman.
Right.
He knew how to deal with the herds. He knew how to deal with the field. He wasn't no low level just sitting in the house. No,
Right.
he understood how to. That's why Jacob was like, man, Isaac knew that Jacob was gonna make him money. He wanted to give everything to Esau because he thought Jacob gonna be all right, but the Lord had other plans, man.
That's right.
So this man is the complete left hand demon. He
Right.
gotta go.
Right.
And that's what we're reading about. Let's get back to Isaiah 14 and we'll
This-
read a little bit more.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
Right, you finna be through. And that's where you belong, man. Because literally you're a caveman. You're a Ooga Ooga who the Lord raised up. You know, you're really a beast.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To show us, because we went off,
Right.
to put someone at a base state over righteous men because we broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. You didn't do this on your own, Will, man.
Right.
They were children of fools.
Yeah, that's
All right. Children of base men.
Base men. Yep.
Now I am their song. See how that prophecy is playing forward now? Go ahead.
Come. This is Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
How art thou fallen? Now remember, earlier now, what did I say? Keep in mind. He's talking about the king of Babylon.
Exactly.
But then it changes. He said, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Now people bug out over this whole Lucifer term. When all Lucifer, look it up. Higher law.
Light bearer.
Look, it's just, go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is the only time Lucifer is brought up in the whole
Right.
Bible.
Morning star, yeah.
But look how people have took that and made a whole doctrine.
Man.
This is
Right.
speaking of the rulership of the earth. What do they call themselves? The Illuminati, the illuminated ones. They
Light.
have the light.
Yep, that's right.
They have the light bearer. This is speaking of it's still talking about the king of Babylon and how he's gonna fall, but then it switches to call him Lucifer, and everybody's bugged out.
Yeah.
That's a subtle change.
What the true light bearers are the Yahweh Shah and elect.
Exactly.
What does Aaron mean? A bearer of light. See, but they wanted to set up their priesthood and say they're the bearer of lights, and their light is actually darkness, man.
That's
Left-hand
still
side.
On the
elite.
left hand side.
That's ooh, that's ooh.
That's what that's talking about, man. They ain't talking about no damn dragon, no demon falling out of the sky playing a piano with a wave cap on, man. He rebelled against the Most High and Lucifer got kicked out. It's talking about the so-called white
The elite bank because
The
wow,
rappers.
that's, yep.
Where did he fall? In Toronto?
Yeah, right.
Wyoming somewhere.
A hole in the earth shaped like a nigga like this.
That ain't what that's talking about. How are that? What did Yahweh Shah say? I saw Satan fall as lightning. This man gonna fall fast, man. Go ahead. The word Lucifer.
This is Lucifer in the Hebrew for that verse. Strong's H1966 higher law version Lucifer equals light bearer.
Light bearer.
Shining one, morning star, Lucifer.
Right. And who's the true morning star? Yahweh Shai.
Mhm.
I was talking to one of my homies in Oakland. He said, man, the Bible say that Jesus Christ is Satan. It calls him the light, the light, the light. They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Hey,
You
now
gotta
see,
have spiritual
this bugs a
understanding.
lot of people
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
a lot of people are scared to touch the whole Lucifer. The
Don't
real,
touch that.
the true light bearers are the elect under Yahweh Shai, the priesthood.
Hey, because in Baruch he speaks about turn thee, O Jacob, and become
Get it,
illuminated.
get it. Baruch 4.
Hey,
See, hey, so we, yeah,
Yahweh Shai even told his disciples, what, ye are the light of the world.
Are we not right?
Yeah.
Proverbs 6.
The law is the light. The true light of the world is the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and it was written in the law on stone, man.
Mhm.
That's the true light on
Yeah.
how this world is going to be forwarded in righteousness.
Right.
Go ahead. Baruch, I'm gonna go to the point. Baruch 4 and 2. You got more slide.
Well, there's more people.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. Read the definition. Okay.
It just-
Nah, bro, you got it.
Baruch 4 and 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the
No,
breath.
start up.
Go to one.
Before, yeah.
All right, Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endureth forever. And all they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Mhm.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
That you may be illuminated,
Come on,
enlightened.
man. It's duality.
Why you running? A lot of Jake, but man, man, you had Jake when we brought this out. Jake was doing videos. The GMS is a part of the Luciferian, which they don't understand words.
Yeah, it's just,
Boy.
yeah, Esau put a negative connotation on certain words where it's buzzwords and it brings emotional response out of people.
Right.
You lose it.
His righteousness is wickedness. Their righteousness is the right and the false. Light, didn't it say? Get that in real quick. Job 11 and 22. Job 11 and 22, real quick. This is going to sum it all up perfectly. We can
Job.
move.
You got it?
It's only 20 verses.
I know. 10 and 22.
22.
10 and 22?
Yeah.
Son, this is Job 10 and 22. It says, a land of darkness, as darkness itself, and out of the shadow of death, without any order,
Mhm.
and where the light is as darkness.
Where the light is darkness. The true light is darkness here.
Man,
People hate righteousness here.
man, that's heavy.
But people love wickedness. The light of this world is wickedness. Through who? The priesthood. The illuminated ones. The Chaldeans of this time and the top elite. Every nation is truly ran by its priesthood. The Babylonians had the Chaldeans. They were over the magic, the art. That's what really runs a nation, man. A culture. And what's the culture of this world? Wickedness.
Right.
Go ahead.
Quick precept.
Go ahead.
Actually, I'll get this out. I'll go back to the definition. Isaiah 16:1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
Yep.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
You have to really,
No.
so
Go.
the Spirit of the Lord really has to be on you to really understand that, man. Like, really has to be on you. People look like y'all was saying earlier, people look at where it's written in Revelation where Yahweh Shai is considered the morning star, you know, and then they'll look at Lucifer, the son of the morning, and they want to have understanding. If you understand what the word Lucifer means, you understand that it just means to bear light, man.
Right.
But you have to look at who's bearing the actual, like, who claims to be bearing the light right now to who really bears the light.
Right.
A lot of people really worship Lucifer, like the actual entity that Isaiah 14 is talking about. Salakia. Isaiah 14 is talking about Lucifer, the son of the morning, the king of Babylon. These people don't even realize that it's talking about that, but they couldn't worship Jesus.
Right,
man.
right, right,
When
right.
Jesus embodies what the king of Babylon's agenda actually is, man.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Jesus Christ is a demon.
It's a demon, bro.
Yeah. That's that goat.
Yup.
It's a goat. That goat, that golden calf.
Jay like them Galatians who've been bewitched.
That's it. That's it.
From his Galatians.
Mhm.
All right, go back. You guys have
Yes,
finish
it's
that.
more.
We're going to go back to the definition of Lucifer.
Right. And so the root word is halal, but it says, I said, first definition, Lucifer equals light bearer. So section A, shining one, morning star, Lucifer. I, of the king of Babylon and Satan, figuratively.
Figuratively. So even they knew it.
Yeah.
But the Israelites saying that the Lord gave you the blue letter for you to look into it, man, so you can know what the scrolls was actually talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Use it.
Yep.
King of Babylon. That's heavy, bro.
Subsection B.
The whole time.
It says again, the next section, describing the king of Babylon.
That's all it is, bro. And everybody, this has been a doctrine that all over the earth. You
Bro.
know, Lucifer, dude. You know, Lucifer.
Son of the morning, man.
Yeah. And people don't even know what you know.
They don't understand.
Let's go back to Isaiah. Read that part again about Lucifer.
Oh, okay. I think
Whoever
it's
had
blue
it.
letter.
No,
My bad. Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Right, which did is weaken the nations. All right, and when you go into it, the man of sin has been revealed. You know, he's done the bidding of Satan on the earth. He's weakened the nations, man. Go ahead.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Right, he's basically, he's gone into the heavens, talking about going to Mars. He's exalted his throne. He's over there in Jerusalem saying he's the Jew.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing all kind of wickedness, man, to put himself, through pseudoscience, he's basically lied and made a whole doctrine that he's the top nigga,
That's right, bro. That's right.
which is a goddamn lie.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right here it's expounding on his pomp, where it says thy pomp shall be brought down to the grave. It's expounding on that pompousness that this devil shows. It says, verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also among the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
This is North America, and he's oppressing us, man.
That's right, bro.
This is where he truly has his foot, where he's able to use you jakes and push that negative vibration all over the earth. Look at him. They're thugs. He financed rap music. He financed you being a gangster, a slut, a whore. He financed that whole movement, and then through you over here in America, he's able to show everybody, look at these niggas. Go ahead.
It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most
I
High.
will be like the Most High, man. Transhumanism. Also, he wants to chip.
Man, that's it right there. Yep.
You know, all of the things that he has going on, he's really trying to be the Most High on earth, which is
Yep.
what Ezekiel 28 is talking about.
Isaiah
That's
47.
what Isaiah 47, which is talking about the daughter of Babylon.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Second Thessalonians 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Man of sin.
Yep. Through left-hand means, he's trying to be the Most High. Through carnal means, his carnal blessing. Go ahead.
I got something.
Go ahead.
Obadiah, verse 3 and 4.
Yep.
The pride of thine heart has
I was
deceived
just
thee.
thinking of that.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring thee down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Hashem Shai.
That's it.
Same thing as Isaiah said.
Mhm. That's right, bro.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 14 and 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit.
You're gonna lose, fam. Go ahead.
God. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying,
Watch this.
is this the man
Is this the man?
that made the earth to tremble?
So it ain't talking about those spirit that fell from the earth. This is speaking of a nation of people, man.
Exactly.
Is this the man?
That's crazy how it just broke itself down.
It broke it all down. King of Babylon, Lucifer, man. Because through him being Lucifer, because he's paraded himself around like he's a god.
That's right, bro.
You see? But you're just a man.
That's right, bro.
And that's what the world is getting ready to see. You're not this mythical, you're not this hunk of the earth. You're just another man, but you're the worst kind of man.
You understand? You the real nigga. Oh, that nigga?
Yeah.
You gonna look at this nigga?
That's right.
That's right, brother.
God, if I may,
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
to land back, when you go into when Cain had killed Abel, you remember what the Lord had said and expressed about Cain and made it clear. Cain and made it clear. He pretty much said, loosely paraphrasing, ain't nobody don't touch him, man, because you're gonna have to touch up that rat. Loosely paraphrasing.
Right.
So now this is the point where that spirit that was in Cain is finally casted down, and now throughout a dispensation of time, as he's been in rulership, untouchable. Now it's to the point where it's made evident that he's only a man.
Right.
You know, that's where everybody expounds, is this the one that made the earth to tremble? Because now he's brought down, but it had to take divine intervention from the Heavenly Father to do that. You know, because if you had lifted up arms against Cain, then you will be brought down.
Right.
And you have to give that unto the Lord. So now it's the Heavenly Father that's obviously bringing this demon down, who had been a demon from the beginning.
That's right.
But throughout time, he's been able to have that pass to do this because he's been given the earth and been given the sword.
Prophecy,
He was
bro.
protected by
Prophecy.
He was
That's
protected by
it.
prophecy. Just like
That's
we're
it.
protected by prophecy, how we weren't done away with.
Right.
He was protected by certain prophecies to be able to do his thing.
Well, what did he tell Cain? He put a seal on him, basically.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, he wasn't
That's
able
right.
to be judged.
Mhm.
And that's why Lamech was like, well, shit, if Cain could get away with what he did, I can kill 7,000 times 7. Now I can kill forever.
Nigga was jamming like a
He
mug.
was jamming, singing to the women, being a demon.
Right.
Man.
This nigga is back today thinking he's just gonna continue.
Right.
But this is the final time where it's like, all right,
So last who rock, man.
and man, we need it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
America. Tired of this nigga, man.
That nigga drank the spirit,
This
man.
nigga had drained the spirit, bro. You can't enjoy nothing.
And when it says in the scriptures, he shall rock the saints of the Most High.
He wore out. It was through that fourth beast.
Man.
Esau.
What we gonna go to in Daniel? Well, yeah, cuz.
Esau. Hey, we'll do that. We'll do Daniel this week. We got nothing but time on our hand to prophesy until you shut the internet off and make us.
Fourth chapter.
Yeah, Daniel the 4th chapter. We gotta go into that.
You gotta make us a.
We ain't gonna. Hey, we gonna bring this word out. You know, until you say otherwise,
The
man.
Most High knows.
To the boss, I say, you know what?
Yep.
That's it.
Y'all did y'all work.
Yep.
Completed the job.
We completed our job. Go ahead.
It's finished.
God, Isaiah 14 and 13. It says, Salaki, verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Right. And people are bucking up to him. Nations that wouldn't have bucked up to him 20 years ago are bucking up to him now.
That's it. Yep.
China wouldn't have bucked up to Esau like this, the way they're bucking up years ago. Go ahead.
Come. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his
Who is
prisoners.
that describing?
That's man, bro.
Esau. That's Esau.
He
all
put
day.
your ass in jail for life.
Mhm.
Through that drug thing, man, that whole war on drugs, there was people that were separated from their families forever, man.
Mhm.
That was
The
Clintons.
three-strike rule
That's
and
when
all of
the
that.
Clintons was in all that.
The Bushes, the Clintons,
Yep.
Reagan,
Yep.
even before the
Really for the
Reagan.
Reagan that started.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, kind of started with them, that 3-strike law, yep.
Edomites, man.
Basically.
Edomites with the fatness of the earth able to destroy Jacob. And they did it.
That's why I say it's movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. It's a comedy, but it shows you how they was doing Jacob around that time in the 1930s and 40s after slavery. They was on trumped up charges, giving Jacob life to get work to still have put him in
Righteous
slavery.
decrees. Yep.
Put him back in slavery. Remember I said unrighteous decrees, getting life and being set up.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Come on, come on.
Read a little bit more.
Verse 19. But thou art cast out of thy
No, no,
grave.
read that.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Isaiah 14 and 18. All the kings of the nations, even unto them, lie in glory, every one in his own house.
Right, all of the heathen nations eventually, once they get their judgment, we're gonna give them all their lands. You know, and you're gonna have to follow the law, statutes, commandments. But you, go ahead.
But thou art
But you,
cast
nigga.
out.
But
Thou art,
you, go ahead.
but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, they go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden under feet.
Mhm.
Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial.
You're not gonna be joined with the heathen. They're gonna be buried. They won't ever have a rulership, but you're not gonna be able to join with them in seeing us rule forever in righteousness. Eventually, the Edomites will be done away with as a
Yes.
nation, chased out of the earth. They're the only nation in the scriptures that's gonna get that punishment. Ishmael gonna be there. Ham gonna be there.
No rest for you in the kingdom.
Right. Japheth, you know, they'll still be there.
Right.
But they'll be just heathen, you know, they'll be
Right.
under us. As the scriptures say, we're gonna have heathen for our possession.
That's right.
We're gonna pass them down to our children, but at least we'll be fair with judgment. Just when you go off, all right, we'll judge you, man.
Right then
We'll
and there.
show up. Just like you get a ticket for running a red light, well, you'll get a ticket for eating swine in our kingdom.
Right. Get that
You'll,
bottom line.
not, it ain't gonna be no, it ain't gonna be no paper ticket. Let me change. You're gonna get judged in front of the whole community, so they can know not to eat that.
Crack. Damn.
Yeah.
Rod of iron. That's what that's gonna be for.
Yep.
A rod of iron.
That's right.
It said we're gonna have a rod of iron.
Amen.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
It says, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people, the seed of evildoers shall never be renowned.
Mhm.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Colonizing everything, lying, setting up, removing the ancient landmarks,
Mhm.
poisoning, polluting. Go ahead.
Watch that.
Come.
Quick reset to that.
Yeah.
Real quick. Job 18 and 19. He shall never have a son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. You got it.
Yep. Watch this. Keep going.
For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord.
Man, read that next verse. We can shut it off.
I will also make it a possession for the bitter and the pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts.
That's America, man.
It's America.
That ain't
bro.
talking about ancient Babylon. This is
No,
speaking
sir.
of this Babylon
That's right.
ran by you Edomites.
Right.
So, you know, unless you got something.
This is a cool
Yeah.
little precept to that. This is Jeremiah 50 and 30. I'm going to start at verse 29. It says, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp it round about, let none therefore escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her. For she hath opened, Salakia, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel, and that's that pomp. So this is the preparation of that pomp, that pride being brought down.
God that thine heart hath received.
Verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in the day, saith the Lord. That's the nephew, the son.
That means you can't procreate.
That's it.
We can go on to Zechariah with military. Oh, man.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I'm doing a long cut.
And that's another indicator what shows you it's about the man. The man carries the seed. You know, so the Lord is going to cut off all those men so that seed ain't carried no more, man.
That's right.
You know, that's why the cities ain't going to be filled up with their faces, because that seed's going to get cut off.
Yeah, Psalms 21, let's end it off there. Psalms 21.
You're gonna be removed, and like the brother read that besom of destruction, Isaiah 14, and word besom goes to a broom.
That
Mhm.
fire.
Yeah, we use a broom,
Yeah.
you sweeping all that dirt and junk out the house.
That's crazy. One of my skits, when I first woke up, I used to write skits, all, you know, but one was if you go back in history and before the so-called white man showed up, you erased it, you erased them, you got a big erase, everybody still be happy. Well, that's what's gonna happen with the earth. The Lord is gonna erase you, man.
Funny, man.
You won't be able, yeah, he's gonna sweep you out of here, man, and you gotta go.
Yep.
And it's needed. And it sounds harsh, you know, and even when I first came into the truth, I thought I got that the so-called white man had to go, but now I understand. Now I get it.
But to say bye bye,
Yeah.
American
Empire.
pie.
Bye, you gotta
Yo, that's why Job 20 said they should go away like a vapor.
go. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta go, bro. I mean, it's not, we ain't crazy, brothers.
Hey, man.
They go try to make you feel crazy for this testimony. No, they're crazy for wanting this bullshit to continue, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Psalms 21, like the last three verses.
Okay. Okay.
And this is David thanking the Most High for victory. Start at 8.
Okay. This is Psalms 21 and 8. It says, thine hand shall find out all thine enemies, thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Thou shalt make them.
Thy right hand.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shalt thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men.
That's beautiful. Go ahead.
Among the rest of the heathen.
I
Yep.
got right there.
It says, for they intended evil against thee.
In the New World Order, the chip, they intended evil against thee, man. To cut off Israel. Go ahead.
It says they imagined a mischievous device which they are not notable to perform.
Right. They're not going to be able to. You're not able to perform it. You're not going to be able to perform this.
Right.
This thing you're trying to set up. You're going to get right to the cusp of it. The Lord is going to fondue your blessing, and you're going to be through, man.
That's right.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
So.
I say it's like the elder said, man, don't feel bad for his testimony, man. Don't feel bad for wanting them to be gone, because it said right there, they intended evil against us.
Right.
So they put everything in food, everything they do is harmful to us. So why am I gonna sit there and just let you try to do away with it? You trying to kill me, dude.
Trying to kill my child.
Kill my child, my bloodline.
Poison your child. Everywhere Jake live at, what do you have readily available to you? Poison. The foods, all of these, everything, bro. All of the stuff that's readily available to us is to destroy us, man.
Trying to follow the virgin, man.
Your demise is at every turn here.
Right.
Yeah. So your ass is grass, Jack. So with that, we're gonna give all praise to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
That's crazy. When it's on poison,